Pre-coup, she was enormously popular. So I think first things first, she fared very well politically. Within the country, she retains enormous support, especially from the Burma majority, which represents about 2/3 of the country. She was unsuccessful, however, in a few major issue areas. Number one was winning over the trust of the military, which clearly did not trust her in the end. It launched a coup to remove her from power. She had essentially tried to manage the peace process through her own consultative mechanisms to replace the sort of military-led ceasefire talks with ethnic armed groups, and sideline the military, not convening the National Defense and Security Council, which had met regularly until she was elected. So I think she really had a very cold relationship, if it can even be called that, with Commander-in-Chief Min Aung Hlaing, and this fundamental division really seeded the ground leading up to the coup. In other regards, with foreign affairs, Aung San Suu Kyi was deeply unpopular on the world stage following her decision to defend the military in 2019 at The Hague against charges of genocide and crimes against humanity that the military committed against the Rohingya minority in Rakhine State. So Aung San Suu Kyi had sort of tried to walk a tightrope, a high wire act of siding with the military in some regards to maintain domestic support from the Burma Buddhist majority, which was generally pro-military to the extent that it shared the feelings of a large portion of the country that the Rohingya were outsiders. So she took this sort of nationalist Burma Buddhist hardline in some regards. But in other regards, she had alienated the military and never fundamentally earned their trust, despite the fact that her father was the creator of the Burma military and the founder of Myanmar. There was that familial continuity which she had tried to play in messaging to outreach to the military. She was unable to really patch over those really enormous divisions that remain within Burma, Myanmar today.
I think people would give her, at best, a mixed report, a report card. Certainly having a democratic leader, or a leader that the people believe in and want, and as represented in the 2020 election, where her party won again in a landslide, that's a step forward. And it gives credibility, legitimacy to all of her activities. But I think there was disappointment, no doubt, on her democratic, small d democratic bona fides, her credentials, because there were increasing numbers of political prisoners. There was closing space for media. There wasn't the kind of reforms through legislation, through the parliament that she did control, through her party, for reforms. The economic reforms were late and not as fulsome as people would have hoped. And she didn't seem to project a kind of liberal image. Certainly the biggest one was over the Rohingya catastrophe that happened on her watch. Even though she couldn't control what happened to the Rohingya per se, she didn't speak to it. She didn't represent the kind of human rights values that we had come to expect from her and that she represented. So at best, we would give her a checkered record as leader. I think many people would give her a failing grade, incomplete grade at least, pending what she would have done in her second term.